everyone, thank you so much for joining me and welcome to the greatest city in the world. So we have been living in London for the last few years and we absolutely love it. There are so many things to see and do and eat and experience. There's never a dull moment here.
So on this beautiful summer's day, we have decided to put together a video showing some of the hotspots that we feel are must visits for anyone wishing to spend like 24 hours in London.
So we are starting from Paddington station. Vikram had a brilliant idea of selecting this as the starting point because this is the station where the fast trains, Heathrow Express, the express trains that carry passengers from Heathrow Airport, the international, biggest international airport of this country, the passengers can come to central London. And this area has loads of hotels, even affordable hotels, lots of places to eat. And this is also in central London, pretty well connected to the rest of the city. So there are left luggage services in both Heathrow Airport and Paddington. So if you are carrying luggage and you don't have the luxury of spending a night in London, you can always leave your luggage at Heathrow or Paddington, go around sightseeing and then come back to collect it at the end of the day. So let's get started. Our first stop is going to be God Save the Queen, Buckingham Palace. Let's go. Okay guys, so we have reached Buckingham Palace and as stated, this is going to be point A of our sightseeing tour of London. It's going to be more or less like a circular trip, so you can join at any point, but because we live in West London, West is obviously easier for us to access. Twice a day there'll be change of guard ceremony in front of the palace. Once in the morning, once in the evening. Just look up the internet. I'll try to find out the timings for you. I've been to one of them. Honestly speaking, I wasn't excited. It's not something that I'll recommend, but it's a personal choice. So here you have the big, huge gates, the entry gates to Buckingham Palace, but the actual estate is obviously acres wide and long and covers a lot of different areas, like this statue of Queen Victoria you see at the front. We are from Kolkata, so statue of Queen Victoria brings a special sense of nostalgia in us. And then there are some royal parks surrounding it, Green Park this way and St. James Park, which is one of my favorite parks in fact, because they have lovely swans, including black swans. We will be crossing St. James Park soon, so you will get to have a look at it. Short walk from Buckingham Palace to the beautiful St. James Park, enjoying all the black swans and white swans and the rest of the wild birds. We have arrived at Westminster, which is going to be point B of our tour. So Westminster is sort of like the headquarters of, government administration. Everything very serious, very bureaucratic happens here, and there are lots of buildings of historic importance, including buildings that specifically played very important roles during the World Wars. So I can see Cabinet War Rooms somewhere to my left. You can see, I don't know if you can see the sign in front. And then 10 Downing Street, it's also to my left. The other day I tried to pass through the road, but it was barricaded. But at least you can see Downing Street. So that's where the Prime Minister of United Kingdom lives. And then we have Big Ben, which is actually called Elizabeth Tower. So Big Ben is a nickname for the bell, but somehow colloquially it stands for the clock tower. We're going to have a look at all of them, but first we are going to head towards Westminster Abbey because it's 11:30 now and it will close for visitors at 1 o'clock. So we want to make a run for it. We have been to the Abbey, we have been inside the Abbey in the past and loved it for many reasons. So let us first reach there and then I'll tell you why we loved Westminster Abbey. Right, so we are now within the premises of Westminster Abbey now, which is a royal church and a World heritage site with a history spanning more than 1,000 years.
So we just completed a whistle-stop tour of Westminster Abbey, which happens to be one of my favorite abbeys for a specific reason. Lots of people who contributed to science are buried here, which includes Sir Isaac Newton, Sir Charles Darwin, Sir John Hunter. Now we are headed towards the Houses of Parliament, so you can see that in the front. And in the backdrop you can see Big Ben. Unfortunately, Big Ben is covered with scaffolding. And in the, I think behind Big Ben, you can also catch a glimpse of the London Eye. So what we will do is we are headed towards the Westminster Pier because we want to take the water taxi towards our next stop. The best part of taking the water taxi, taking a trip along Thames, is it allows you to take in a lot of sights on both sides, both banks of the river.
Guys, do you know what that is? The bridge you see in front of us? I can tell you what that is not. That is not the London Bridge. That is in fact called the Tower Bridge. The London Bridge is a very nondescript, boring looking bridge further up west from here. But this is our stop C for the tour. The Tower Bridge, Tower of London area. So you have guessed it right. We will be going towards Tower of London, where for the first time in his life, Vikram is going to see the Kohinoor.
The Kohinoor.
The Kohinoor. Give it back. We are headed towards the Crown Jewels and Chapel Royal, which I guess is the place where the Kohinoor is. I've been to the Tower of London when I was a child, and I remember the Kohinoor. Obviously, I don't remember the exact directions, but I think it probably is this way. Let's find out. So what you can see and hear are the ravens, the big black birds, who are one of the famous sights of the Tower of London. They have a special raven master who is the only person, and his team. They are the only people who can actually handle these birds, and we are not allowed to go close. We shouldn't really go close or try to feed the birds anyway. Legend has it that if the ravens ever leave the Tower of London, the kingdom is going to fall. Okay, this is the exit from the section that houses the Crown Jewels, which includes the crown of Queen Mother, Elizabeth II's mother, that has the famous Kohinoor diamond. You just have to take our word for it, because photography or videography is not allowed in these chambers. Okay, so that was a whirlwind tour of the Tower of London. We missed the guided tour that the beefeaters or the royal yeoman wardens of Tower.
We didn't miss it.
We chose not to go because it was going to start at 2:30. It lasts for 45 minutes, and then it would have been too late because the British Museum is going to close at 5 o'clock today. But now we are taking a nice, I would have loved to say leisurely, but it's anything but leisurely, a nice stroll by the Thames towards our next destination. And as you can see, the Tower Bridge, the Shard, and my very handsome husband. Can you smile for the camera, please, sir? We are very close to our next destination. I just wanted you guys to have a look at something before we proceed. So what you see at the front, where is it? There, that old looking white building, that is Shakespeare's Globe. So William Shakespeare's plays used to be performed there. This in fact is not the original building, because the original building was destroyed unfortunately in a fire, and then it was recreated, but it retains the original features. And even spectators, most of us, we have to stand while watching the play, so it can be a bit of a stretch to the leg muscles. You have to stand for an extended period. There are some sitting there are some seats too, but they're wooden seats and quite uncomfortable, so you can either hire a cushion or bring one from home, or you just give your seat muscles a bit of exercise.
As you can see, we are in front of St. Paul's Cathedral, and this is my favorite monument in the whole of London, and Pritha's too. We find the views absolutely stunning. I was very lucky to have worked for an extended period in this neighborhood, so I got to see this view at night and early hours of the morning.
I love St. Paul's at night. I mean, when it's lit up, you just can see the highlights of the monument. It looks heavenly.
It was actually planned and executed, built by the famous architect Christopher Wren, and amazingly, this was one of the few monuments in London which survived the blades of the Second World War. So, the Germans did a lot of bombing across London and it destroyed a lot of monuments, but this one amazingly escaped. All I know is this is one of the last surviving gates to the city of London.
There is an area within London which is called the City, which is right at the heart of the financial district. Office areas and historic monuments around, and parts of the Roman wall too. So London is not a new area. It has been around from the Roman times for thousands of years.
Right.
And
so the Roman city of Londonium, I think that was a much smaller complex of buildings, and which had gates on 3 or 4 sides of it. So
but this is not a gate built by Romans.
No, this was a much modern gate, but this also marks the entrance to the city of London. So outside of this, originally it wasn't part of the city of London.
So city of London is like the Dalhousie of Kolkata, basically, where all the offices are and people come to work. But it's a very old and heritage-full
Roman ruins.
Yeah, it has got lots of Roman ruins. So if you're really interested in prehistoric. Can we call Romans prehistoric? Anyway,
no, it is
Roman architecture. They're not. There were dinosaurs in other parts of England. I don't think they roamed around the London area, but the Romans certainly did. So this is the British Museum, which houses some of the prime objects of historic importance brought from around the world to London. I don't want to comment on how they managed to find their place of pride in the British Museum, but anyway, in all fairness, they are preserved quite well, and you'll be able to see loads of things like Egyptian mummies, Elgin marbles from Greece, and lots of things from India too. So it's free to enter the museum. They do have some paid exhibitions at times, but most of the famous things that you hear about that are in the British Museum, you can see them free of charge. So for people like us, people who are in a hurry, people who have to see London in 24 hours, British Museum has kindly come up with an itinerary. So they have curated a few objects of interest that you can see in 1 hour. So this is it, and we are going to go on this trail now. I mean, it mentions the exact room number and the floor where they are housed. So this is very useful. So you'll find the link in the video description.
Let's start with the Rosetta Stone, room 4.
Let's go it. You tend to give all secrets away even before we go there.
Sorry. পাতি বাঙালি।
হ্যাঁ, তুমি পাতি বাঙালি।
তুমি না।
আমি পশ।
এই তো।
চুপ কর। Anyway, fantastic news, guys. So we made it. It's now 5 o'clock. British Museum has just closed, but we have managed to complete the 1 hour trail.
We covered all parts of history and all parts of the globe.
We certainly did.
From Japan to Korea to...
Yes. We have been to all the tourist hotspots that we wanted to touch, but our 24 hours in London hasn't yet ended, as we will next be headed towards the very famous party, eating, drinking zone, the West End. They also have the theatres there, so if you want to watch musicals, that is where you need to head to. But you know what, we have walked a few tens of thousands of steps today. My feet are killing me, and we really did not pause for lunch or any kind of break. So I need to have something to eat or drink and some time to just sit down and massage my legs before I can move any further. So we are at Covent Garden now for a quick refreshment. So this is the Trafalgar Square area. You might recognize it from one of the many songs featuring Shah Rukh Khan that were shot here. That's Lord Nelson presiding over us, and to our left is the National Gallery. Further down the road there's also the National Portrait Gallery. Both are free to enter. This is Leicester Square, which is another top spots for entertainment. You have got movie theatres here where big budget, massive Hollywood films premiere, and then of course there are all the West End theatres I was talking about. In fact, in the Leicester Square Park there is a kiosk where you can book theatre tickets. Obviously nowadays you can do most of the bookings online, but you might get good last minute deals if you drop in at the kiosk. So we have not had lunch. We are both a little bit hungry, and we are planning to have dinner at Chinatown in London, which is right next to Leicester Square anyway. So we are in Piccadilly Circus, another bright, beautiful, happening area of West End. We will be spending some time here, soaking in the atmosphere, enjoying the sights and sounds, maybe even visit a cocktail bar or two. What do you think, Vikram?
Let's go for it.
Yeah. We are going to come up with many more London-centric videos, including Harry Potter in London. I know a lot of you are Potter maniacs like me, so please watch this space and please like, subscribe, share. You know the drill. I sincerely hope that you found this useful and you liked it. See you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.